In this video, let us talk about R programming language. R is a programming language which was initially developed by Ross Ihaka and Robert Gentleman in the University of Auckland, New Zealand country, and is currently developed by R Development Core team. R is free software distributed under GNU style copyleft and an official part of the GNU project called GNU-S. Let us know about the features of R. R contains conditional, looping, user-defined recursive functions as well as input and output facilities for being a programming language. R has an effective data handling and storage facility too, which provides a suite of operators for calculation on arrays, lists, vectors, and matrices. R also provides an integrated collection of tools for data analysis as well as graphical representation of data. R is preferred as the world's most widely used statistic programming language as it is most preferred by data scientists and supported by vibrant and talented communities of contributors. R programming code can be implemented by using a R software with the latest version of 4.0.2, which was lastly updated on 31st March 2021. Also, R code can be implemented through a software named RStudio with version 1.4.1106, which was last updated on 22nd of February 2021. Let us know about the basic concept of R programming, which is data types. In general programming languages like C, Java, C++, all these, we have data types like integers, decimals, which is also referred as floating, and strings, and all those. But in R programming language, we have 5 types of data types, which are vectors, lists, matrices, arrays, and data frames. Before knowing about this, let us know how we assign a value to a variable in R programming. In other programming languages, for assignment, we use equal to operator, but in R programming, we use right-headed arrow or left-headed arrow or even equal to for assigning a particular value to a variable. For example, if we assign v followed by a right-headed arrow with a value of 12 and then we get the value of v as 12. Also, if we assign a variable v with a left-headed arrow and a value assigned 12, then we get the value of 12 of the variable v. Also, we can use the equal to symbol as shown. Let us come back to our data types, in which the first data type is vectors. Vector is a collection of different type of values of integers, decimals, strings, and other types. Here, each element is not treated differently. Every element has its preference. If any one of the element is a string, then the entire set of elements are also considered as strings. If any one of the element is float, then the entire set of elements are treated as float or decimal point. If any one data is of integer type, then the all set of data is treated as an integer type. Thus, it depends on the preference of the data element. In order to define a vector, we use a keyword C followed by parenthesis. In between we define the data elements. For example, if we see that a variable a is assigned with a vector in which the elements are, the first one is a string element, the second one is an integer element, and the third one is a decimal point or floating type element, and the fourth one is again an integer type element. If we give a command print a, it prints everything as a string. We can see that every element is surrounded by double quotes. Also, during the absence of string, we get every element to be treated as float, as after string the preference is for floating point or decimal point element. The next data type is lists. It can be defined as a collection of different data items including vectors and lists itself. Okay, as we see that in vectors we have different elements, but a vector cannot contain a vector, but list can contain a list and a vector itself as an element. In order to define a list, we use the keyword list followed by parenthesis. For example, if we see here a variable b is assigned with a list in which the elements are a vector with 3 elements, a floating point element, a sign function, and a string vector. If we give a command that print b, then each element is treated separately. Like the first element vector is represented separately, then the floating point vector, then the sign function which is described as function of x and primitive sign. Also the string element is also given separately. In list we have separate presentation of each element of it. The next data type is matrix. In general, if we see, matrix contains data in the form of rows and columns. Thus it is called two-dimensional or rectangular data set. So in R programming also we follow the same concept. Thus in R programming, the data set arranged in a box structure is called a matrix. In order to define a matrix, we use the keyword matrix followed by parenthesis, which is a function, in which we have to define the number of rows and columns, also set of elements, along with the way in which the elements are to be arranged, either row wise or column wise. If we see an example, here a variable m is assigned with a matrix in which the set of elements are defined in a vector with n row, which means number of rows equal to 3, and n column means number of column is equal to 3, and here we have written by row which is equal to true, which means all these elements will be arranged row wise. And if we give a command to print the variable m, then we get the following output. The next data type is arrays. In other programming languages like C, C++ or Java, arrays is a one-dimensional data set. But in our programming language, it is a multiple dimensional data set. For defining an array, we use the keyword array followed by parenthesis, in which the dimensions are to be specified along with the number of rows and columns. For example, if we take a variable a which is assigned with an array in which the elements are assigned in a vector like freshersworld.com. These three are three different elements for the array. Now we have defined the dimensions in a vector of 3, 2, 2, which means the number of rows are 3, the number of columns are 2, and the whole data set is to be repeated 2 times. Okay. Then if we give a command print a, then we get the following output. As we have defined the third argument in the dimension parameter as 2, thus we get the same set 2 times. The next data type is factors. Factors is also something like vectors which doesn't accept the duplicate values or repeated values. Suppose if we want to filter a data set by removing the repeated values, then we use factors. In order to assign a variable as a factor, we use the keyword factor, which is most useful in statistical modeling. If we see an example, the variable set1 is assigned with a vector of elements which are name of the colors which are repeated few times. If we create another variable named factset which takes the value of factor of set1, which means the set1 values are to be factorized, which means all are to be separated. Then if we print the factset variable, which means factorized set1 elements, then we get the following output. All the name of the colors are repeated, but the next line which shows the levels, which are blue, green, red and yellow. These are the distinct values present in the set1 elements. The next data type is data frames, which is a structured form of data presentation. If we see as an example of an Excel data which is present in a tabulated form, in the same way data frames present the data in a tabulated form. In order to create a data frame, we use the keyword data.frame followed by parenthesis which contain the elements. Here all the vectors that contains the elements should be of equal length in order to form a perfect table. Here if we see an example, the variable students is assigned with a data frame with the following elements. The first one is roll number, which contains a vector set of elements 1, 2, 3, 4. Also the name element which contains the vector with the names of the students given. Also the next one is result element in the variable students, which contains the vector with the result of the students. If we close this and give a command to print the data assigned to students, then we get the following output. That's all for today. Hope you all liked this video. For more videos on R programming, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you.